Hyundai built a mid-size SUV that looks like it costs $15,000 more than it actually does. And that's only the beginning of what makes the 2027 Santa Fe worth talking about. If you're shopping for a 3-row family SUV and you're tired of choosing between a premium cabin and an affordable price tag, the Santa Fe is about to change the way you're looking at this segment. It's great, but not perfect. So keep in mind, it has drawbacks too, which is something we are also about to check out in this video. Let's start with the strong points first, the reasons why so many families keep choosing this SUV year after year. Number 4. Upscale interior. There's a specific kind of disappointment that comes with buying a family SUV in this price range. You open the door, look around, and everything reminds you that you saved money. Scratchy plastics, a cheap screen, seats that belong in a rental car. The 2027 Santa Fe breaks that pattern. Two 12.3-inch displays are covering more than half the dashboard, with one serving as the gauge cluster and the other handling infotainment. Physical knobs for climate and audio have been kept in place, far less frustrating than rivals that went all in on touchscreen controls. The calligraphy is getting Napa leather with a new pecan brown interior option, while limited models are now coming standard with second-row captain's chairs and dual wireless chargers. A 12-speaker Bose audio system is available too. It's the kind of cabin usually associated with premium brands, but here it is in a mainstream family SUV starting well below $40,000. That cabin looks impressive, but what Hyundai packed into the base price alongside it is what's really going to raise some eyebrows. Number 3. Loads of standard equipment. Most buyers in this segment know the frustration. You build the vehicle online, get excited about the price, then realize the features you actually want are hiding behind a $4,000 package. With the Santa Fe, that math works out differently. Every 2027 Santa Fe is getting forward collision warning, automated emergency braking, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, blind spot monitoring, and lane keeping assist. All standard. Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto come standard too, and the SEL adds wireless charging, heated front seats, dual zone climate control with third-row vents, and power folding mirrors for under $40,000. Hyundai's warranty backs it all up with 5 years or 60,000 miles basic, 10 years or 100,000 miles on the powertrain, plus 3 years of complimentary maintenance that puts Hyundai well ahead of Toyota on that front. The equipment list is generous, but there's one more thing about this SUV that's going to divide the room, starting the moment you see it in a parking lot. Number 2. Unique styling. Mid-size SUVs all look the same right now. Rounded edges, safe proportions, inoffensive styling that leaves no impression at all. The 2027 Santa Fe is taking a completely different road. You may not like it, a lot of people don't, but you're not going to forget it. The square, truck-inspired body with its pixelated H-shaped lighting signatures isn't trying to appeal to everyone, and that boxy shape is working in the buyer's favor. The tailgate opens to 40.5 cubic feet behind the second row and nearly 80 with both rear rows folded. The Subaru Outback, famous for practicality, sits at just 32.5 cubic feet behind the second row. Whether the look lands for you or not, the design is cohesive and deliberate, and that's worth something in a segment full of SUVs that all look more or less the same. The looks will split opinions, but the powertrain lineup is where the Santa Fe makes its most convincing argument, and it's one most rivals simply can't answer. Number 1. Wide powertrain range. One of the hardest choices in this segment is picking between performance and efficiency. Go gas only, and you're leaving miles per gallon on the table. Go hybrid, and you might be giving up power when you need it. The Santa Fe lets you have a serious conversation about both. The gas model runs a turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, producing 277 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, now paired with a traditional 8-speed automatic, a real improvement over the old dual clutch. 0 to 60 arrives at 6.9 seconds, quicker than the Pilot and the Grand Highlander, and the XRT is rated to tow 4,500 pounds with trailer brakes. The hybrid pairs a turbocharged 1.6-liter with an electric motor for 231 combined horsepower through a 6-speed automatic, with the front-wheel drive version rated at 36 miles per gallon combined and all-wheel drive holding at 34. Both powertrains, both drivetrains, therefore giving buyers a genuine choice based on exactly what they need. Now that we've covered the pros, here are the 4 things that could push a buyer away from this SUV. Number 4. Real-world fuel efficiency could be better. Buying a hybrid comes with a clear expectation: less money at the pump. That's the whole point of the premium. But the Santa Fe hybrid isn't going to deliver on that promise the way you'd expect. The EPA rates the front-wheel drive hybrid at 36 miles per gallon combined, competitive on paper. But real-world testing came in at just 26 miles per gallon, a gap wide enough to question the value of the upgrade. The gas model follows a similar pattern. EPA rated at 20 over 29 miles per gallon, but real-world highway testing on the XRT landed at 27 miles per gallon. The Toyota Crown Signia hybrid rates 38 miles per gallon combined, which puts the Santa Fe's efficiency story in a noticeably less flattering light. The fuel economy gap is a real problem, but it's not the thing that's going to wear on you most during daily driving. That title belongs to the next con. Number 3. Too much wind noise. You finished a long week, the family is loaded in, and you're on the highway heading somewhere you actually want to be. The seats are comfortable, the cabin looks great, but there's a constant rush of wind cutting through everything, and it isn't going away. That's the Santa Fe at highway speeds. The materials and screens punch above the price, but the sound insulation isn't keeping pace. Instrumented testing confirmed 70 mile-per-hour cruising noise levels that line up with persistent reviewer complaints. Idle noise holds at a well-controlled 40 decibels, but highway speeds tell a different story. In a segment where Toyota, Honda, and Mazda have been raising the bar on cabin quietness, this is an area the Santa Fe still needs to address. Wind noise is something you can learn to live with, but the next con is structural, and no amount of time behind the wheel is going to change it. Number 2. Cramped third row. 3 rows sounds like exactly what a growing family needs, but the Santa Fe's third row is going to make clear that having 3 rows and actually using them are 2 very different things. Legroom measures just 30 inches back there. Fine for children, but anyone of average height is going to be uncomfortable quickly. The Palisade and the Grand Highlander both offer noticeably more third row space. Cargo behind that row checks in at under 15 cubic feet, and while access is decent with the folding captain's chairs, none of that fixes the legroom. If genuine 3-row usability is a firm requirement, the Santa Fe isn't the answer. The third row is a deal breaker for larger families, but the final con goes deeper than any single feature because it affects every single mile this vehicle puts on. Number 1. Forgettable driving experience. There's a baseline expectation when you get behind the wheel of any SUV that the car feels like it's responding to you, that some connection exists between your hands and what's happening on the road. With the Santa Fe, that connection is barely there. The ride is comfortable and the suspension handles imperfections well, but push it past its comfort zone and there's almost nothing coming back through the wheel. The steering is numb, body roll shows up in corners, and the whole setup is built entirely around compliance. The 0 to 60 time of 6.9 seconds is respectable, but none of it is communicating back to the driver. Skid pad road holding lands at 0.80 G. That's fine, but unremarkable. The Mazda CX-90 is operating nearby with significantly more driver involvement, and it's worth a serious look for anyone who wants more from the experience. The 2027 Santa Fe is the kind of SUV that gets a lot right and a few things very wrong. And knowing which side matters most to you is what's going to determine whether this is the right buy. On the positive side, you're getting a cabin that punches well above its price, a standard equipment list that embarrasses most rivals, styling that nobody in this segment is brave enough to copy, and a powertrain range that covers real ground. But real-world hybrid fuel economy falls well short of the EPA promise. Wind noise follows you onto every highway. The third row is realistically kids only. And the driving experience is so comfort-focused that anyone expecting feedback from the wheel is going to walk away flat. For a family prioritizing practicality, technology, and an upscale feel without luxury pricing, the Santa Fe makes a strong case, but it helps to know exactly what you're signing up for before you put your name on anything. Altogether, it's hard to find a better value in the segment, but it's not like there are no excellent alternatives available. Rivals are more than capable, particularly names like the Mazda CX-90 you can check out in our next video. Stylish, elegant, and genuinely luxurious, the CX-90 also offers excellent driving dynamics and probably the nicest powertrain options among mid-size 3-row SUVs.